will say, I haven't seen a whole lot of fake Saw fan art, which is understandable.
I need to draw him.
You know, I'm sure all the artists are like, oh yeah, I need to do some fake Saw fan art, and then they look at him, and then they're just like, I'm not fucking doing
It is.
that.
It's more. It's more work than drawing Hero of Hell. Because, like,
Yeah, he's got all
Hero of
these
Hell,
veins and shit. You
you
know
could,
what I mean?
yeah, that's why I've been calling him Vein Saw Man.
Vein
which
Saw
I
Man.
Think, I
Oh
think
my God.
everyone should be calling him Vein Saw Man.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, look at him.
He's extremely veiny. This is again where I come back to like, you know, much discourse has gone into the art style change at the middle of part two. But
Oh my god, so much.
when part two started, you know, a lot of people don't remember. A lot of people don't know that it was mostly bi-weekly. I remember being pleasantly surprised when we would get two in a row. It was like the first three were back to back because he sort of had them lined up, ready to go, and then like this announcement came out. He was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna take breaks whenever I want, and I'm just gonna take my time with the art if I feel like it." I feel like he did that, and the readership went off a cliff, and also like, it's just gonna take like twice as long to finish your fucking manga, basically, right? It's like you got the story to tell, he's got the fucking story beats planned out, and he's sitting there looking at it. He's like, "Man, am I really gonna like spend all this time on this detailed artwork, and it's gonna take me like 4 years instead of 2 to get through this?" That's kind of I don't know about
Do you
that.
think we're, in terms of like volume of pages, do you think we're getting more now or less than we were back
more
then?
Definitely more per month, absolutely more, probably about 1.5 times as much, I think. There would be some longer chapters, but like in the aquarium arc we had like a 10-page chapter and it took 2 weeks to get done. So yeah, it looks great, but you know, I mean, you know how hard it is. It's just a matter of time. You want to put all those tiny little lines in and do all the little detail. You just got to spend. It's just a matter of you just spend the time. You put the little lines in. You know, you just do all this and that, and you really spice it up.
Who's studied his art style a fair amount. There is never an art style I've mimicked that gave me wrist strain faster than attempting to do what he does with his hatching.
It is genuinely a style you should not do. It is like, it is like you should not draw this way. The character faces can be quite simple, but the rest of it is just a fucking nightmare. You know what I mean? Plus with a few of his assistants getting their own serializations and going off, creating some really fucking great series that are running now. But you know, all these different factors. I wondered at the beginning. I was like, is he actually gonna keep this style the whole time? Like, it would be crazy. It would be awesome if he did, because, you know, I mean, I don't care that it's bi-weekly, and a lot of people have come out since then and have been like, he should go back to, you know, fewer chapters and they look better. And I'm like, I don't know. It's a trade-off, right?
Where I'm at is like, I like the pace. I like the pace a lot, and I mean, clearly that's what he prefers. He prefers to do the illustrations that aren't quite as complicated.
I'm sure that it is. You know, when you spend half the time on one of the drawings,
it's like, but yeah, it's really weird where people are like, I wish he would just go to bi-weekly or monthly. And I'm like, because then we get the original art style back, and he'd also be more well rested. And I'm like, that's not really how it how
No,
it works, man.
I mean, I think people
He
don't.
would probably be working more even if he did like one chapter every 3 weeks with the early part two style.
I think so. I watched a live stream by Asano Inio once. He does a monthly,
Yeah.
really, really, intricate, detailed style. He did his monthly, but he draws every day. He has like really intense, like incredible looking illustrator. Just one of the best illustrators in manga, certainly. Currently working, and he does monthly, and he was comparing himself to like Sue Ishida, and if you don't know, Ishida currently with Chojin X, which is I think his best work to date, in just my opinion. Chojin X has a completely free release schedule. Because Ishida,
Ooh.
made insane bank off of Tokyo Ghoul and its legend, so he just sets his own terms with Shueisha. And it's really good. If you're not reading Shoujo X, you should be, because it is, I think, for my money, the best battle shonen in the game right now. By quite a bit. It's really nice. It's just great. But it has like no motion. Like no one is even talking about it. I was even in like a fan like group chat, and even that one like sort of lost interest just because like you don't know when it's gonna come out, right? It's just like a new chapter comes out and you're just like, that was dope, and then you're just like, okay, it's just see you.
Is it anything like
see you whenever,
like late career Berserk or?
No, it comes out regularly. It's not like, he has the whole point of this schedule is he's not burning himself out on it, and actually looking at the numbers, the pages per year, it is one of the highest numbers in Jump. Because he doesn't burn himself out, because he gets to just sort of take
actually
his
really
time
impressive
and release on his own schedule. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, they tried a 4-day work week and productivity went up.
It's almost like if you don't grind people down to the bone,
right,
they actually produce like better work than if you're grinding them into dust.
On the consumption side, it gets a lot less attention, right? It doesn't hold the readers in week to week, right? So like from the actual productivity side and from the artist side, this is obviously the ideal scenario. You just take as much time as you need. You can plan out all the story and the art, and there's just, it is fucking gas. Oh my god, it looks so good. Some incredible spreads, mind-blowing. I mean, Ishida, he's so great at these, like, kind of abstract, impressionist kind of, like, art style. Creative, mixed media stuff is very interesting. So you get some really awesome stuff in there, but it is like, oh, I forgot Shoujo X exists, because you don't know when it's going to come out. So as a reader, you're not as locked in. You get a great product whenever you come back to it, but in terms of that, like, getting people locked into the cycle like we're doing here, doesn't happen. So, and it is a much like I said, sort of, one of the factors here is how long are you going to spend on your story, right? You have your story planned out as like the storyteller, and then you sit down to create it as the artist. And if you want to make it, twice as detailed in the art, it's going to take you twice as long to get through your story. So you can spend 2 years telling the story, or you can spend 4 years telling the story. And it's like, do you have other stories you want to tell? Do you want to take a break?
Storytellers have other stories they want to tell,
right? Does he have a part 3 that he wants to get to? Like,
I mean, when I've been telling my stories, I've had like 5 new things I really want to write while I'm working on like this one thing. I got like original work, I got fan work, I got everything. It's just like, man,
right,
I want this to be done so I can get to the next thing.
Right. So I think there's a variety of factors that went into the art style change, but I think he's come into it. Speaking of this chapter this week, chapter 199, which we'll be discussing, I think the art was really, really good. The paneling was crispy, looking great. This week we are here discussing chapter 199 of Chainsaw
One away
Man.
from the big 200.
One away from the big 200. It is episode 60 of this show. Big 60. Love to see it. Thank you, everyone who has been on this journey here at the Public Safety Special Broadcast. I'm, of course, your host, Secret Doves, Public Safety Media Division 18 Vice Captain, coming to you from the Public Safety Media Bunker here, safe from the depths of the earth. Before we get into the discussion, I would like to ask my guest this week to introduce themselves. Returning guest, regular on the broadcast. Introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm the Art Devil. Post rebrand. It's
the
now
Art Devil.
Just Art Devil.
Art Devil.
The Art Devil.bsky.social now.
That's right.
And I'm contracted with the... Oh, crap. I had something funny prepared, but I can't remember it. I'm contracted with the Stage Fright Devil.
There you go. Wonderful. Yes. Age. Of course, my age is 34, and I'm contracted with the War Devil. Well, now.
I'm
no Yoru for a while now. I think many fans are glad to see that. They're like, oh my gosh, get this Yoru character out here. She's coming back. Yeah. Just y'all wait. Y'all wait.
I can't imagine what her reaction's gonna be. Like, is she gonna be hurt? Is she gonna be manipulative? Is she gonna be like pissed off?
I don't. That's a good question. Yoru.
Because last time Asa threw her out while she was having fun, she immediately went in for the kill trip.
That's a big. That's a big dynamic in and of itself, because last we left off, Asa had wrested control. So the internal dynamic there, is all fucked up now.
Yeah.
Right? There's that conflict
either
going on.
Because she was really scared of her impending death, or because she somehow figured out how to get back a little control.
Well,
no way to know for sure.
One of the many overlooked, or one of the key overlooked aspects in all the discussion around number 176 and surrounding and the surrounding story is the fact that in that moment, Asa started to gain back agency directly, right?
Yeah.
It's no longer a matter of fear. She was starting to
punch herself in the face,
build up her own power, rejecting Yoru's fucking, evil selfish horribleness, rejecting the selfishness that she had embraced when she first died, coming back around, thinking about da. Oh my god, I'm so fucking excited for the rest of the story. Holy shit.
I'm also highly excited.
It's gonna be so fucking sick. Oh god.
So that's 1 to 2 chapters from now.
Yeah.
So,
we still got,
we got to talk about.
well, I think that's gonna be it. You know what I mean? Like that.
Yeah, I think we're gonna cut.
That's it.
I think we're gonna cut. We're gonna
For
cut
story.
back to
Think so? It could be.
Banesaw and Famine in a few chapters, and they're gonna be doing comic relief shit. That's my prediction of when they next show up. It's gonna be a few chapters.
Interesting. Perhaps, but before that happens, we'll get into that whole discussion. A lot of really, really interesting information coming in this chapter. Big time reveal chapter. Of course, we had the huge twist in 198 that, really shocked everybody. Really tied a lot of things together. Started to congeal the very kind of loose, what would you call that? Like, tension,
plot thread.
Yeah, the tension threading, weaving kind of mystery focused storytelling that had been going on for a really long time.
Yeah, my
Really
favorite type
long
of
time.
plot twist makes total sense in retrospect, and nobody saw it coming.
I mean, it's really hard to do, and it was done very well. So, bravo! It's hard to
Perfectly.
better, but a very good one.
It's a yeah,
I would say
I've probably seen better, but like
I think it's one of the better ones I've seen. But
Oh, yeah.
I would say that he was a little like I was talking about it last time. I would actually like to hear, because you were not on the last episode. What was your reaction to the big twist when you saw it just coming in?
It was my reaction. It was like, oh my god, of course she hangs out with a fucking guillotine.
Yeah. There's so much just like,
oh my god, of
shit,
course she could bring someone back from the dead.
Oh, fucking. Because we were talking about it. Jake had mentioned that he covered part 2 at the very beginning over on Jake Jones' channel. Now retired from the weekly game. But, he was covering and discussing it back when Death first appeared in the story. And no one knew who this character was.
Everyone was like, oh my god, that's the Death Devil.
Right? Exactly.
And like, everyone was right at the very start. And then she just said, like, no, that's not me.
Yeah.
And we all got fucking duped, even after they introduced the concept of, like, devils can just lie about
But
who they are.
we got a lot of, like, sort of reliable confirmation, right? Like, public safety seems to believe it's the Famine
in
Devil.
The story was credulous. Which
Yoru,
helps us be credulous.
who is like her sister, was like, oh yeah, that's Famine, I forgot, but that is Famine. It was like, nah, you got tricked, you know what I mean?
All she had to do is mask her scent, because it's not like Yoru is gonna look at her face and be like, you're not
right.
her.
And that detail came back again, right? Because Death herself was like, oh, you probably didn't recognize the difference between the Chainsaw Man because you don't really pay attention to faces, right? And so, like, all of the pieces are there in the story. It's so stupid.
It's really good.
It's really intricate.
Really good.
It's really intricate. It's really carefully done. But there are a few things like I said, like, there are all these like jumps in the story, right? That people were really complaining about. Why is the story jumping around like this? You know what I mean? We're skipping over all this Asa stuff, right? Which is like, oh god, all this theorizing about like the metaphorical meaning, which I'm sure is still in there. I'm sure that those like thematic layers are still in there because he's like very good at incorporating ideas like that. But I mean, you go back and you look at it, all those things that he skipped over is like hanging out with death, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like he avoided giving any clues about the Death Devil by just skipping over all of those parts in the story and focusing on other stuff, you know?
I assume that not too much interesting happened aside from her just like eating a lot.
Yeah, but it's like, if you saw her, manipulating Asa and
There
Yoru
could have
in this
been a
way,
little more.
it's a little bit of a cheap way to just like avoid giving people any ways to figure it out, right? Like, saying, I'm just not going to put her in. I'm just
There could have been a little more.
Right? It's sort of like, it would have
But
been...
you're not gonna catch me complaining about
Yeah,
that twist,
yeah,
like
yeah.
in general.
Yeah, it worked really well in the end.
But also, it's still like really good. It's my favorite twist in Chainsaw Man. The only
Yes.
one that comes close is the reveal of Chainsaw Man, like himself,
the black chainsaw
the
man,
huge guy.
Yeah, that's a really good one. But I guess that wasn't really a twist so much. It's not like we were all like, oh, who is this? What will happen when Denji goes Mega Mode? It's just sort of like a crazy thing that happened.
It's a surprise. It's whatever. But yeah, it's
This
like
is
nobody expected Poshita to be like that.
Right. This is a real like y'all thought, but it was not like that.
Oh
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah. This is the kind of twist where you can look back at the story and like every couple of chapters, there's like, okay,
yeah.
I see.
It's really all through the story. It's really quite quite crazy. I don't think Fujimoto's ever done that in a story. He's not really that kind of author, which
I can't think of any examples of him doing something quite like that.
Right. He's usually pretty straight ahead. Like the Makima reveal, which everyone was comparing it to, it wasn't really a twist, right?
She was shady from like the very beginning.
Literally the first time she shows up, you're like,
shady.
There's something fucked up about this character.
Like one of the earliest panels with her is like standing flanked by public safety goons
her
saying
face
like,
in
if
the
you disobey, we're
shadows.
gonna kill you.
It's
and like her
like-
whole face is in shadow, and it's like, okay, she's
Right.
gonna do something bad
And
at
then,
some
like,
point.
Every character who comes in the story and interacts with Denji is like, Makima's fucked up, dude.
She's so fucked up.
Makima's
This is bad
super
news.
fucked. It's like Himeno was like, Makima's all fucked up. That was the whole thing. Pretty much why she ended up dying. Right?
Power's terrified of her.
Power's scared of her. Aki's
Beam's
clearly all
terrified of her.
fucked up about her. Right? Literally every other
Yeah.
character except for Denji is like, Makima's fucked up.
Like,
And then somehow
this is bad
people
news.
talk about like the control devil reveal. It wasn't even surprising. It's like, yeah, no shit, it wasn't. You mean it's like literally the whole story.
Yeah,
it's about
like
that.
the entire story is very obviously leading up to the point
Right.
of Aki's death, which is like it's just the future devil basically turns to the
Yes.
viewer and says, "This is gonna
Right.
this is gonna go from bad to worse,"
Yes.
and then it does.
Right. Like in part one is very much Fujimoto tells you exactly what he's going to do, and then he does it, and it works really well. And you're like, wow, that was dope.
This one, he's telling you.
Yeah,
shit.
we don't know
It's still
shit.
working really well.
And now, that's a very different kind of storytelling, though. It is very much not what you get out of shonen mostly. It's not really that popular these days either. I mean, it's pretty hard to do. It's very technical,
I think it's
right?
gonna get more popular.
I don't know. People hope. I mean, maybe.
I think people are gonna try to do it at the very least.
I don't know. Or you think people are going to try to emulate this this kind of move. It's really hard to do though.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are gonna fail. There's one manga in particular that I don't like very much that will go unnamed that I think attempts to reheat Fujimoto's nachos, but we won't dwell on that one right now.
Have you been keeping up? Have you been keeping up with it? I've checked in now and then. It's pretty boring, but
that's why I dropped it. Other people I know said it like got a lot better, and I believe them, but I don't. I have so much other stuff to read right now. Like
it got a little. I don't know. It's kind of
a little less repulsive, maybe.
It's just kind of spinning its wheels now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I
Okay,
checked into
maybe
it, and it was like a plot beat that had happened like 4 chapters ago was happening again, and I was like, man,
maybe I'll check it out after there's a few volumes and after I'm like caught up on Blue Lock and stuff. Because a friend wants me to read that one.
Blue Lock,
Yeah.
BL. Some
Yeah, BL.
big time soccer. But we're not here to talk about those manga. All right, we are here to talk about Chapter 199, Enjoy Your Food, where since the big reveal, we have the Death Devil now. Let's lay it out on the table. Everybody knows what's up now, so show us what you got. Show us what you're cooking, Mr.
Oh my
Fujimoto.
God, she sure does show us, huh?
Yes, we've seen it all. She has fully exposed herself. I didn't actually get that symbolism. The discourse that I knew was going to occur through my brain, but like the idea of like, fully the character fully revealing herself, right? All is revealed now. Oh, there you go. Look at that.
I mean, I don't like it does work on that level, but I think it mostly just works on the level of like the author is kind of a freak / positive.
Yeah, but
and that's really all I have to say about that particular aspect of it.
Yeah, but I think that's in there, right? He's like, let me do this metaphor, and I'm gonna make it freaky. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna make it freaky.
That's the case with. Yeah, that's the case with like all the sexual stuff in Chainsaw Man is like this is saying something,
and
but also
freaky.
I'm just doing this because I like it.
Yeah.
So
good
for him. If we could all be so lucky to make a story like that,
I mean,
then yeah,
what a utopia. You know what I mean?
Yeah, utopia.
We're all just being freaks on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of, let's freak out about this.
Yeah.
Death Devil. We're getting details about. We're getting hints. We're getting more information about the prophecy coming in. Death comes in. She's talking about, the Death Devil arriving as people were talking about. I do wonder if there was some translation stuff in there. I'll have to go back into that. If there was maybe a little bit of like the Japanese is a little bit more ambiguous because it does tend to be a little bit more ambiguous of a language. So
I cannot weigh in on that. I speak one language.
It might be a case where like in the Japanese it's like the Death Devil will appear, will come, will arrive, and that's like a more vague term, whereas in English it very much sounds like, oh, she's not here yet and she's gonna show up. But I think maybe not, maybe yes. I'd have to check that out.
I always envisioned like the descent of the Death Devil, quote unquote, with like all the high ranking devils coming to beat her as being like a coronation of sorts. I think I mentioned this at one point
like
on the pod.
Crowning of the king, the Lord of Terror.
A crowning of the King of Terror. And I wouldn't be surprised if something like that ends up happening. I also wouldn't be surprised if it ends up being a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah, that's classic storytelling.
She's just incapable of stopping because she's the one who put it into motion.
Oh, maybe she even knows about that, though. You know, that's a
Maybe
part of the
she
plan
even knows
too.
about that.
We
Maybe
got the
she's-
layers upon layers.
She did say that even if I could die, another Death Devil would be born, and
Right,
that
which is lore
would
accurate.
probably just obliterate mankind. And like, maybe she's like, you know,
Right, which
this is inevitable. Let's just get it over with.
calls it a lot into question of Denji's current plan and the plan that Public Safety came to Yoru with, like, you know,
what the
turn
hell
him
are
into
they
a weapon and kill the
planning?
Death Devil. It's like, well, you kill the Death Devil, so it's not like the Death Devil goes away, you know, just because
Just
you kill.
reincarnate.
But I guess the plan is like turn Chainsaw Man into a weapon and then, you know, use Chainsaw Man's erasure power, right? The weapon erases
Because it's
death.
like the weapons are still alive, kind of,
Right.
when they're made out of living things.
Right, so like, but we see Death is not down with this plan. Death is like, when the prophecy arrives, I'm going to power up, you know, true form is going to happen. So everybody
Even
who's
if I'm asleep.
everybody who's not down with the like schoolgirl designs, they want the big monster, don't hold your horses, you know, still time. You know, monster fans, lock in, do not give up yet.
Trust the plan.
Yes, but
We'll have some more freaky monsters before this is over, I'm sure.
We could have freaky monsters coming soon.
Coming soon, yeah.
But mysterious Death is not down to be eaten by Chainsaw Man. Why?
Who knows?
We don't know. Any thoughts? Any guesses?
That is actually, I do have some guesses. First of all, before we go to page 3, I do want to linger on the last line of page 2. When it happens, my powers will activate, even if I'm sound asleep.
Mm-hmm. It's not.
What the hell
willful.
is her power?
Yeah.
Because she's clearly not talking about the totem thing. She's talking about something that's going to wipe out the entirety of humanity.
Apocalyptic, you know.
That's like, yeah. Anyway, we have no idea what it's going to be.
That would be in the realm of
scary.
wild speculation. We can come back to that later on, but yeah, I don't think you know. Devil powers in Chainsaw Man, they don't make any fucking sense. So it truly is like the wildest fucking guesses.
They are.
The Chainsaw Devil can erase other devils. Oh.
Yeah, sure.
Why not?
Hashtag Pochita Birth Devil when, etc., etc. Yada. I think he can just do that. I don't think he's the Birth Devil. I think he's allegorically the Birth Devil, not literally.
Yeah, I mean, who...
Also,
it has
umbilical cord C-section motif is pretty cool.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, we may never get that reveal, though it has been hinted at as like a mystery in the story of like, what's the deal with that?
It's like, that's weird. Why can he do that? I kind of hope it's just like because he can do that, or maybe he's like...
It feels
like
to me like
Death's Child or something.
Fujimoto has a plan for this. Like he's gonna
sure
lay
he
it
has something.
out. I think he will for that one. There are other ones that I don't think were ever like, why is Falling Devil a chef? That one's just that was just
I don't know.
You know what I mean? Look at her. He can't hate her. Stop asking these questions. Shut up.
But you did say, I wanted to get back to this, where Death does not want to get eaten by Chainsaw Man. I'm not sure. Because she doesn't say... When Famine says, you should get eaten by Chainsaw Man, Death doesn't disagree. She just says that, and then she pauses, and then she comes up with an idea. So my current prediction... you know, it's probably going to be wrong because it's usually wrong. You know, we'll know a year from now. My current prediction is she wants to live to save her life. She doesn't want to annihilate mankind.
She wants to eat pizza. This could be the thing where
something else will, or the next Death Devil will.
Yes.
So what I'm thinking is she might want to get herself eaten temporarily on the duration of the final day of the prophecy, and then like get back out afterwards. And I think
How Yoshida did.
yeah, like just like that. Let the day of the prophecy pass over. There's no death. She gets thrown back up, and she's okay. And
Okay.
I think that that's a pretty good plan.
The Pokeball strat.
But also, I think the plan would get complicated because, as we know, when Pochita eats something, its like ramifications or its effects don't go away. They just like get shuffled around.
Right. There's like
reality.
There's like a retroactive rearrangement of the nature of things. But
something
the
about,
reality as it stands remains. However, now it is as
still
if
cell phones, even if there's no ears and no mouths.
That was a subject of much debate, where I had always maintained the stance that the story confirmed, which is that it is like a historical revisionism metaphor.
Yes,
right.
Which is you
rewrite the history.
I have also been in the historical revisionism camp, not just because it's like supported by the story, but because it's supported by Denji's character, because he loves to dump those memories into a tiny little corner of his mind,
right,
where they, in massive air quotes, won't affect him.
Yeah, don't open the door.
With his life.
Right, exactly.
Don't open it.
Yeah.
Don't open it. Don't acknowledge it.
And
you can keep moving on, and you can pretend for a while that thing was never there.
Yes, and
it was
with
So I think that's going to be your plan, and I think the wrinkle in the plan is going to be that it's not going to work, and like more chaos shit is going to happen, and beyond that, no clue. But that's where my head's at for the broad
interesting guess. It fits with events of the story, right? These mechanics have been established in the last arc, so it does make sense. However, it is a little weird.
It is weird.
The only thing it doesn't make sense with is like, what the fuck is she doing right now? Like, why isn't she there? Why did she say, "Hey, Denji"? Because like, Denji's down to eat people. Let's all be honest. You know what I mean? Denji's a snacker, and he's not opposed to snacking on devils. He's done it before.
She also knows about the distinction between red and black, and that when red eats somebody, it doesn't vanish forever.
Yeah,
because he ate Makima.
But Black Chainsaw Man was just out, and like, she could have hopped in there. She did not do that.
It's possible. I'm thinking
it's a little
like
weird. You know what I mean?
There's
weird things about it.
There's probably a reason. Maybe like she wouldn't be able to fit in there, or maybe spending like the better part of a month in Pochita's stomach is.
She doesn't want to do that. She just doesn't want.
Disagreeable.
I mean,
she'd rather like hang out.
She has to help at the school festival.
Friends.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's got obligations. She's got responsibilities.
Go away and be like, "Hey, I want to hang out at the school festival." And like, I believe her. I think she also showed up there because she knew that like her sister was going to show up. But I also believe she wanted to save her life. I think she was doing both.
Her school. Well, also like, in terms of like her sister showing up, that was like, as the prophecy approaches, all the high-ranking devils appear around death, right? It was one of those things where I was like, why the fuck is the Death Devil showing up now randomly? But since, when you figure out who the Death Devil really is, now you're like, oh, that's all fucking, and of course, Famine is showing up for her sister Death,
Yep.
Makes perfect sense. Long story short, that is an interesting idea. I think there are some I have some reservations about it making sense with the rest of the story. I think it's going to be something a little bit different than that as to why that wouldn't work, or just why Death doesn't want to do that. We still don't really know what Death is really after here. But in the rest of the story, the rest of this chapter, we start to get maybe a little bit of a hint of that. And we see Death's ability, Death's power is finally nailed down, revealed for real.
Yeah.
At least one of them. You know what I mean? Death can have as many powers as fucking Fujimoto wants, because it's the Death Devil, but...
Because she's the strongest, whatever, who cares?
Yeah, he can just pile as many fucking stupid shit as he wants, because his shit doesn't make any sense, but... she chows down. She eats her sister and this mysterious interlocutor fakes off.
Yeah, mysterious interlocutor. That's a great way to describe
Brief pause. Who the fuck is this?
Oh, okay. So I said, I said the concept of fake saw man is bullshit. There's gotta be like 3, maybe 4, maybe even 5 fake saw men. Like every single appearance of fake saw man has been a different person. Because this is definitely not the fucker that showed up the same night that Falling Devil happened. He talks completely different. He's like unsure. He's like talking to the Justice Devil in his head, and or rather the Fire Devil. And the one on the night with Falling is like all fucking business. Yeah. People point out like the physical differences, and I'm like, I'm like 50-50 on whether I really care about those.
Right, there wasn't a lot of like detail in the Falling appearance. It's very much like, like red string
guy completely
like in height of the iPhone, you are 5'4" type analysis. It's like okay,
and I'm like, I think that there's gotta be more than one, because just like everybody is fucking lying about who they are. Haruka, that starter was real.
There is canonically
Nobana's a fake saw man.
More than one fake saw, like there are fake chainsaw man all over the world.
Zombies,
right? But
I mean, like specifically, like sapient guys who look like Chainsaw Man, and who you could probably convince someone that you are Chainsaw Man.
Right, but certainly, at least like the shitty zombies, there are innumerable.
Oh yeah, there's so many of those.
And so, like, if some of them were at a higher level, as Barem had said,
because some people retain more of themselves when they take the contract, because they're higher sense of justice or whatever.
That would make sense, but it still begs the question:
however it was phrased.
Who the fuck is this? Like,
I don't know.
Who the fuck is this?
I don't know. It's one of those things where like we would like instantly know if there was a vocal performance, because we could just look at the voice actor,
right?
But like we can't do that. Whatever.
I personally, I'm erring on the side of this is like the one, and that it has been consistent. Like, this is the one from Yuko, and that was the person in the Falling arc, and now they're here. Just because, I don't know, it would be so random for it to be like, maybe there's like a squad that shows up. That would be that would be very like tokusatsu.
Yeah,
kind of like the Chainsaw Rangers. Yes, the Chainsaw Rangers could show up. Yeah. I was thinking about that at some point, of like the Chainsaw Rangers could be a thing, which maybe. And then Denji is like the red one, and then there's like a green one and a yellow one, and a
flesh one.
Could really, this is like, I guess, with like the bone looking skull, this could be like the white one, and then he's got the red one, and Pochita's the black one, and there's another one.
Yeah,
could be interesting.
Could do it. My heart's set on like like everybody's just fucking lying all the time now. I officially no
you
longer
you
trust
got one trick and now
anything
everybody,
anyone
yeah.
says in this manga, except for like Denji, because he's like honest to a fault,
Yeah.
and I don't think that's gonna change.
You know. So who knows? With that one, I'm on the there's only one, and we'll find out who it is at some point, but maybe not. The other possibilities totally out there.
One of us is going to be right.
The popular
Watch neither of us be right.
yeah, well, classic, of course.
It'll somehow be an answer that isn't there's only one or there are multiple.
Yeah, there's one, but it's different people. You know what I mean? It's like,
Chainsaw Man DID allegory. Here we go.
Yeah, let's do it. It's like a Highlander thing. You know what I mean? There can only be one, but you fight the old one and then you become it. I don't know. Who fucking knows? Anyway, they get fucking eaten. That's what happens in this chapter.
They get eaten.
They chow
They
down.
fucking die, and it's horrifying. It is like it might be the scariest page in the whole thing. I can't think of a page that like makes me feel more like I can think of ones that are like more shocking, but I can't think of ones that give me the same feeling of like dread
like
as that page of like face reactions while they're being eaten. Like you could so clearly see like the passage of emotions and like how much time it's taking.
Asa getting eviscerated in chapter 98 is pretty horrible in my mind. That's like that's some real horror.
I would have to go check that out.
98 lose.
But right now,
my
this
soul.
is up there for me.
It is a really great sequence. The paneling is really good. The composition with the crows on the last page of it is so fucking sick. The crows look fucking amazing. Shout out to the assistants. Yeah, lots of crow analysis coming through. Many
crows all throughout part 2, and it's like
part 1, by the way,
and part 1 Makima. Maybe it was both of them.
Yeah, well,
we do see crows in the graveyard at like leaving right before Makima's death.
Right, and like the canonical statement by Yoshida is that Makima borrows their senses, which doesn't necessarily controlling them. You know what I mean?
She does control them, though. She appears in a pile of rats.
It is true. But
I don't think they did that on their own.
You know, it can be a mix because
I think they both have power over crows, and that's just a thing they can both do. Which,
yes.
Anyway, I bet you saw Spy's post made like in 2023 or whatever about how like you think the crows are like emblematic of the Death Devil watching over the story this whole time, and like I just quoted that and said holy shit.
Yes.
And because that was like. Oh my god, you totally called it. You perfectly called it.
There have been some some nice calls coming out at the end here. Chainsaw Man fans, they know what's up. They're locked the fuck in. But really cool stuff on that page. All those people got eaten up, including the giraffe. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, giraffe.
I want to say
get a giraffe totem later in the story.
My theory that this plate fucking sucked ass was confirmed by death. Fell off. Unsurprising.
He said
thematic.
3 a.m. weed food.
Yeah, not good.
Yeah,
it was. You know what I mean, Gordon? If you came in on the fucking cooking reality TV show with this shit, Gordon Ramsay would give you fucking like, what the hell is this?
In fact, fucking raw.
Yeah, it is literally fucking raw. You said sautéed. not sauteed,
Mm-hmm.
just fucking piled on there. No
Sauteed,
good.
not rawteed.
But
Sorry, that was terrible.
Falling's crestfallen
Yeah.
face when she gets the bad
It's so
review.
funny. I love that panel. It's really
man.
good.
War Falling Devil. Love it.
Yuri is born this chapter as
Yeah.
well.
Yes, we get the.
Dead drop or drop dead, whichever people are calling it now.
I hate the fucking ship name. Whatever. Um.
I'm still on the 4-ling game. It's terrible, but you get it, right?
Yes, I do the shilling, but
Yeah.
it's regardless.
It's objectively terrible.
Yuri alert. Yuri Nation, lock the fuck in. Yuri enjoyers.
I am so
from
locked
all
in
over
right
the planet.
now.
Lock in now.
These two beautiful women, this chef who can't cook for shit, and this woman who will like eat whatever she's given.
Also,
I'm fully on board.
a little bit of like enemies to lovers with fake Saw and Famine could be. Could be a little bit of something there, you know what I mean? We'll see what goes forward with that. I think right now it's a little.
Do you think it's true?
But could work out.
Do you think it's true that the falling devil has never known death, like has never been like defeated, etc.?
Probably not.
Because she's a primal devil. Because
Yeah,
I'm
the
thinking
primal
like,
devil's like that's what
the Yuri potential of letting yourself be eaten in order to become someone's like willing pawn is.
Well,
like,
then she
very
ate her and
Yuri.
she just fucking busted out straight up. So it seems like it probably literally only Pochita has the power to defeat Falling. Maybe the Death Devil.
That is true. Falling Devil said that she'd never been eaten before, and
Right.
every chef should experience being dinner just once. So that means,
You hear that? You hear that,
like-
Gordon Ramsay?
yeah, go get eaten.
Climb in the oven. Get in there, brother.
Yeah. So I guess that means she never got eaten by
Yes.
death.
So
I'm sorry,
yeah,
I
I think
probably called her by the wrong name like 30 times this episode. It's just gonna happen until I get used to it.
everyone's still calling her Fammy. It's fine.
Yeah. I
Thanks
know.
for that one. Thanks for that one, Fuji. by the way. Just switching
Give
up
her
the
a
character name.
please.
Yeah, give her a
name
please
because
give her a
of that.
nickname. We're all fucking, but she's a death
We're
devil.
desperate over here.
But we understand now. Death's power. She kills stuff, and then they become her pawns. This, fits in the pattern of Control Devil, dominates someone, and then they become her slave. The War Devil owns someone, and then they become her weapon. The Death Devil kills someone, and then they become her pawns.
Yeah.
So we have like the
And
general
we
structure
still
of these.
don't know what Famine Devil is.
Famine
actually
Devil
going to
does
do.
do shit.
Yeah. She's so I love her so much. She showed up at a high school explicitly to murder everyone there and instantly got bullied outside by like just some random high schoolers.
kids. Yeah, some kids just yelled at her and she
really-
folded
See, that's why I think they're
immediately.
not gonna. Yeah, that's why I think they're not gonna be able to spread terror at all. Look at these two failures.
Also, yeah,
You know?
Death Devils like
What's Vein
pawn
gonna do that the chainsaw zombies aren't already doing?
and Death's pawn plots thus far in the story have
Mm-hmm.
all not worked. Guillotine did not chop those guys up; just took their clothes.
Mm-hmm.
Falling did not feed them to the Justice Devil. So very
And now we have
unreliable here.
These guys kind of suck to begin with.
These, although they did hit a sick album cover panel there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Death continuing to aura farm throughout these two chapters. Just
Yeah, she's so cool.
pie
And then she gets
aura.
punched in the face.
She punched
which
in the
is really
fucking
funny.
eye.
Yeah.
Oh god. The fucking Hasbulla memes coming in with the fucking uh um and that brings us to our final page. Commanded by the Death Devil, plunge mankind into an abyss of terror. A little bit late for that one. Mankind seems pretty fucked up already.
I think Chainsaw Man is gonna get like instantly stabbed by like the roving packs of devil hunters, and I think that Famine is just gonna like go cry in a corner. I think that's my prediction for him.
I think Bakesaw can handle some random dudes, but
yeah, probably. It's
and Famine,
pretty decent odds.
Famine can drain people's life force, so you know, nothing going on
one
there.
at a time.
The
order was to plunge mankind into an abyss of terror.
Yeah, pretty big scope for like two randos that you just snagged. But I mean, we're all hating on we're all joking on Famine, but she is Apocalypse sister, and there is the Kobeni precedent, right, of a character who comes in and who is goofy, loser, crying, getting
whipping out some crazy moves. Never happens again.
And then busts out some fucking wild shit. This is we've seen this play before. Club Fujimoto Classic. If he did it again, it would work on me again. It would
also work on me.
It's a good move. It's a solid move. He hasn't pushed the button too many times yet. He can push it again. You know what I mean? You want to push it again?
Yeah.
No Bana, no cool stuff yet, so he hasn't pushed it there. So we can have it.
He's a fake saw. I'm calling it. He's another one.
That would be.
Forgot to draw the cords on their chests in the public safety photo. Why not?
That would be a stupid one, but I would fuck with it. Yeah. Did what's his name's cord disappear?
Actually, let me check, because that would be pretty telling.
Might have taken it out. Right.
Yeah.
One of those things where it's like, ooh, everybody hates fake chainsaw man. Let me just call up my plastic surgeon.
Yeah, I mean, if that shit was happening and it really was an implant, I'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna take that out, man.
We're taking this off for the rest of the year.
I want people to see me with a cord.
Maybe we'll bring it back in a couple of decades, but not right now. Yes. Okay. That brings us to our final challenge round of the show, as we always do. Let's try and figure out what the fuck is going to happen in the next chapter. This is a real tough one, because this ending could really go anywhere.
Could go fucking anywhere.
Literally anywhere.
Could continue here. Could jump to the devil containment facility. I don't think it's likely, but we could have the long-awaited Yoshida chapter. We could. And
the setup is there. The context makes sense.
I know several people who would be delighted by that, myself included.
Many Chainsaw Man fans.
Many
around the world.
Many.
I will say, when I was picking up merch on my look back run last year, every other character's merch, pretty easy to get my hands on. Yoshida merch, zero. None in any store.
Yeah.
All sold out everywhere.
That's what I've heard.
All sold out online. Impossible. You can't
it's
get
all
it.
instantly gone.
Yeah. Fujimoto cooked with Yoshida. You
He
know what I
did.
mean?
He cooked
He
with
did
that
cook with that
character.
character.
He wrote a character with like that is like 3/4 subtext by volume.
Let's be honest. He doesn't even fucking write this character. He just like fucking puts him in there and then doesn't say shit.
Like I said, 3/4 subtext by volume.
Literally, he's like, let me just write like 10% of a character, and then I'm just gonna let him go.
But it's good stuff.
It is good
like,
stuff. The 10% is juicy.
He is still like, you know, a fleshed out character that most people typically like understand and like get what his deal is.
Yeah, yeah.
Despite his absence, like that's hard to do.
Yeah. I will say, I think it's getting a little.
We do need to hone in on him a little.
We need to lock in a little bit. You know what I mean? Like we you know, you can't run this game forever. You know what I mean?
I think I'm no fun, was the turning point.
Maybe.
And as always, I'm gonna trust the process.
Yeah.
Because every time people get to the point where it's like,
yeah,
hey, I'm kind of getting fatigued of this.
He always takes it.
He pulls you right back in.
He always takes it over the line, right? Well, maybe he didn't do it as much in part 1, but part 2, he's taking it over the line. Like he's pushing it all the way. You know what I mean? I feel like this is irrelevant, but I feel like Asa and Denji's relationship is in that situation right now. He's pushing it all the way beyond. You know what I mean? He's taking you.
Yeah.
He's taking it to the depths.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Where it's like he was like, oh, this is all fucked up. You know what I mean?
How can we even recover from this?
Yeah.
Do we even want to recover from this?
Does this even make? But you know, there's a lot loaded up in Asa.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk guesses. One of the big time guesses I see out there, I'm just gonna go with it because I think it does make sense here. We're going back to Asa and Denji. We just cut away from in the middle of a chapter. We cut away from those two to these two. To this whole situation. Now this whole situation is like, go do stuff, right? And so we can go back to Asa and Denji, and Denji is hyped up has been manipulated by Yoru to go fight the Death Devil. The Death Devil's pawns are gonna be out doing stuff. We could have Asa and Denji coming in to do that, right? Coming in, Denji being like, look, we'll figure it out, just let's do this Death Devil thing, and then whatever happens in his brand of just let's not even fucking think about it. That has always worked out for him great. It's always gone super good thus far.
He's better than he's ever been.
Yeah, he's at a great place right now.
Obviously, he's being thoughtful and considerate.
He didn't just immediately snap off because he thought he would snap because he thought he was getting betrayed again. He didn't immediately fall back to all of his past sequence of traumas and fall into a reactionary mode. Not at all. That's not what he was doing.
Didn't immediately fall back into, well, I was having fun. Let's go back to having the fun that I was having, so you don't think about the thing that is the most important thing to you right now that really needs to be talked about.
Yeah.
Oh, my poor boy. He's so fucked up right now.
Yeah. It's all fucked up.
Can people please just stop torturing him?
No. It's not gonna happen.
I know it's what the manga's about. It's about how if people come into your life and just constantly fuck you over, you will become a bitter, angry, violent person. But it's not about that, quote unquote, but that's part of what's happening in part 2.
Well, I don't know if that's quite it. Let me put it this way. Chapter 1, of Chainsaw Man, we come into Denji, and he's in the pit of despair, right? He's at the bottom of society, and the story is pretty much about how even as you get this semblance of achievement, you don't, and the world is still there to destroy you, and it hates you, and it wants to crush you, and it will continue to do so. And you survive through that, and find what you can on the other side. And so that's the character.
Maybe
Denji.
Denji's not gonna survive it this time. I don't know. I hope he does. But
Denji, I predicted that he would die in 2024. Did not die in 24. Although he kind of died, but he came out of the boxes.
Yeah.
But now he is Chainsaw Man for real. So maybe Chainsaw Man will die. The Death Devil is here.
Yeah,
Who knows? But regardless, I'm going with Cut, Asa, and Denji, and they're gonna get involved in the whole. They're gonna go up against Famine and Fake Saw, and it is kind of like we have Famine, Asa meeting Famine and finding out about that could be one thing, and then there's the Fake Saw and Denji coming into contact with that and finding out about it could be another thing, right?
Yeah.
So it's sort of
that's a pretty good prediction, I think.
Pretty good. You got any other guesses you have or have seen? Or
I
want to throw out there?
Okay, so I'm gonna say serious prediction. We're probably gonna go back to Asa and Denji.
Right. Fair enough.
Wild card prediction.
Always good to go with.
We're gonna get a Miri Fumiko chapter. Both of them, same chapter. That's my wild card.
That's a big wild card. There is.
It's real wild.
There is we do have some serious explaining to do with Fumiko. You know what I mean? It's like, what the fuck is with her? And
those inside covers, man.
And Miri,
they gotta be
really all of the hybrids are this big sort of they're still around.
Yeah, they're still
they don't die.
They're still around.
I mean, Brem got his head popped off, but he's still around. He hasn't transformed yet. This could be Brem.
He hasn't transformed yet. It could be.
Fake Saw could be Brem.
Well, I don't know if he'd talk like that.
But it would be so funny if he did when he transformed.
It would be pretty funny.
It would be pretty fucking funny if that's Brem, right?
But yeah, that's my serious prediction is we're gonna go back to the protagonist. My prediction that is weird and bizarre and I kind of hope happens is we're gonna go to those two. And I have zero clue what would happen. But I just want to know what's going on with her, and I want to see him again. It's been over a year, and those inside covers, they're linked somehow. Fucking, I don't know how, but they're linked.
Yeah. It's interesting.
They both had their inside covers in the same location, so.
Yeah. Interesting one, both with operating within the machinations of these larger organizations. Something who knows. Well, whatever's gonna happen, we'll find out soon, because no break week devil coming in. Fujimoto is locked in now that he has revealed what his secret plans. I appreciate that. I appreciate that you're pushing it in this moment where everyone's like, holy shit, you got to capture that energy. You know what I mean? Having the Death Devil come out and then being like, let's pause for a second.
No pause.
Could be losing a little bit of that flow. I expect we'll have a break week after this next one.
Yeah, me too.
But it's nice to have the what is this? 3 in a row. 4 in a row. Because there's no break week
get
before that.
What, 3 in a break week?
Yeah,
thereabouts.
3 on, 1 off, which is pretty fine. But this is gonna be 4 on the floor, hitting it, heading into spring here. Love to see it. I wonder if he has, like, I wonder if the Reze movie stuff is like kind of done for on his side, right? It's just Mappa.
Oh,
It's almost done, right? It's almost out.
It's got to be in like post production now. Like
Right, they're like finishing it up. I'm sure the animators are all fucking dead because it's Mappa.
Yeah.
You know? But
they deserve a vacation. They're probably not gonna get
yeah, God bless.
Depressing misery.
Fuck. But you know, maybe he's got a little bit
still gonna be around by then.
looser schedule in terms of like administrative stuff because, you know, I don't think there's a good Bay Area movie in the works. So you know,
Somebody's probably pitched it at this point, but yeah,
it would be pretty
would
good.
Be a while.
That's this discussion for another day. We will find out what's going on in Chainsaw Man very soon. Really, really exciting stuff. I'm loving it. I'm looking forward to it. Ooh-wee, ooh-wee. You know, this could be a big turnaround for the narratives around the story because he's been really putting everything on the ending. Like, every arc has been like, and we're going to find out what that's about when this story ends. And you're like, fucking okay, man. So here we go.
Just keeps going. Here we go.
Now it's rolling. Let's keep going. Thank you, Art Devil, for joining us on the broadcast once again.
Thank you for having me.
Always an enjoyable discussion. Thank you, everyone, for listening, tuning in, like, subscribe, comment, etc. Tell us how stupid our ideas are and how you know exactly what's going on. We will read your comment and then delete your comment, and then we will be back here again for another one next week because we got another chapter coming. Goodbye.
Peace. All right, that was pretty good, I think. It was my internet, by the way.